Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
Anyway, the last caller. Hello. Randy. Oh, I think it's Randy from earlier.
Yeah. Hello?
The call. Hello.
Hi, Randy. Randy,
So,
what's your question? Come on, bud.
Come on.
My question
Come on, Randy.
is,
It's the last call.
hello, Jimmy.
Hi.
Are you against or you support death penalty, capital punishment?
I do not
And then
support that.
number two question is why European Union fight to abolish the death penalty, which is completely against North America approach to
Right. Yeah.
the death penalty. Why there's a difference between European Union and North America in the case of capital punishment? And what's your opinion about this?
I think to answer your question, I am personally hardline against the death penalty. My reasons, I think there's a whole huge list of reasons, from the fact that you could be murdering, in fact, you are murdering some innocent people, which is completely unacceptable to me. I think it's more expensive, it's more time consuming. Potentially it's even a lesser punishment than life in prison because people no longer have time to consider the wrongs that they've committed. I don't think there's a single good argument for the death penalty. I think it's wholly immoral and completely impractical. And you said you oppose it, Jimmy. I think the other question is kind of a political question about what the difference is. I'm not an expert in Europe and the USA, and I think that potentially the difference is maybe religion-based. I don't know. Could be anything. I'm not an expert enough to say.
In the EU, it is currently illegal, right? Is it the death penalty?
I don't know what.
Across
I think
Europe?
so. I think so.
And in America it's not, but in many states it is. So in the states that most often is not are the ones that are heavily concentrated. I'm not going to call out the specific religion, but let's just say it's a big death religion where at the center, to be saved, we had to do some human sacrifice, and they glorify a book that glorifies things like genocide and death all of the time. So we are, as a society, moving away from it. We are more anti-death penalty in this country than ever, and we are trending to also being that way universally. I am definitely
right now you're doing more
penalty.
executions than ever.
What's that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying, right now you're doing loads of executions, and it's really grim.
We're doing more executions than, like even during the Bush administration and during the Obama administration. I don't think we're doing the most we've ever done, but yes, a lot of states are trying to get in as many as they can right now while they feel they still have a shot at it. I think there's actually 30 good reasons to be against the death penalty, and 0 to be for it. And I think you can actually be against the death penalty when you believe people have done something so bad that they deserve to die for it. Because I don't think even if a person deserves to die for it, it is appropriate to put a government in charge of deciding who lives and who dies.
Absolutely, I fully agree. I think that there's a moral argument and there's a practical argument and there's all of the arguments. And I would also add that I actually think if you're a Christian, there's an extra argument against it, which is if there's someone who you think deserves death, like the ultimate punishment from an atheist point of view, potentially, you could argue that. I don't know if that is. But you're killing this person and they're just going to heaven quicker than you are. Because they believe that Jesus has died for their sins, or whatever it is, whatever your rules are to get into your heaven, which is different for everyone, apparently. There are loads of people who believe that there are people who are going to heaven if they just believe Jesus died for their sins, or if they were ever baptized once, or, there's so many different things. And so what, they get to go to heaven quicker than you. It's a brilliant thing. They no longer have to deal with the burden of living with all this knowledge that they've created all this suffering. They're no longer being punished in prison. They go and get eternal forgiveness, and they get to spend time in heaven, and you have to deal with suffering. It's complete nonsense. I think that the Christian argument for the death penalty is even weaker than the atheist one. That's my answer. Oh no, has it frozen? Have I frozen?
No, Randy just takes a long time to ever say anything. Come on, Randy, it's you. You're up.
I'm here. I was thinking, how about being Christian is about forgiveness? Like, it's about forgive. What for somebody.
Yes, that's also wrong.
Who did, right?
The Christian concepts of forgiveness extend far beyond what is reasonable, and it teaches you that you can be forgiven for something from somebody who isn't the party you actually slighted, so that you can seek forgiveness for hurting somebody else, and you don't have to seek it from the person you actually hurt. The Christian principles of forgiveness it's basically a forgiveness fetish, and I think forgiveness is a good thing to learn. However, it's as a mandate utterly horrible. It makes sense why it is a Christian principle, because they have demanded that utilization of forgiveness to excuse away centuries and now millennia of abuse. So also bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in general, the Christians are they support the capital punishment, right?
Some of them, not all of them. I know. In America,
a general statement.
Yeah, in America, there's lots of Christians.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's it. In America, there are lots of Christians who do not support capital punishment. But I'd say the biggest driving force in America and why it is still legal is still Christianity. But that doesn't mean all Christians. # not all Christians.
Right.
Some of my best friends are Christians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think I hope that's
I'm a Christian, but I'm against capital punishment. I think it's wrong, because you can all be you can always be you can be wrong, right? There's no 100% the person is somebody is guilty, right? There's no 100% never.
Yeah. No, and that's a really good point, is that if we have a system in place and you could ever make a mistake, the value of human life is such that you should never risk making that mistake.
Yeah.
Randy, let's do this. Go ahead. Sorry, Katie.
I was just going to say, I think I might get the number slightly wrong here, but recently had a Twitter argument with someone about this, and they were talking about the USA has recently done 9 state executions. I don't know what the time frame is, maybe this year or this month or something. And they were saying, well, it's worth it because they're all guilty. And I said, well, then, there's a chance that they're not all guilty. And so they were like, well, it's so unlikely. I looked it up, and the first number I came across was like 4% of people on death row. They estimate
I wouldn't care
innocent. And if you do the math, for sure. But if you do the maths on 4% for 9 people, there was only a 69%, something like that, chance that they were all guilty, which is terrible, because that's nearly a third chance that one of them was innocent. And I
would assume that number takes into account decades to centuries, and you would hope that the standard has raised. And so if you looked in the last 10 years, it would be a lot lower chance. But even if that is the case, again, if there is a chance of getting it wrong once, not even that we know we've gotten it wrong once. If right now we had known, or we're confident we had no evidence we'd ever gotten it wrong so far, but we still knew there were ways we could, I would still say that's too much of a risk and wouldn't do it on just that basis. But again, there's still 30 other reasons. Randy, let's have you call back in a future week, and you can tell us why you believe in God, and we'll see if we decide to believe in God too, okay?
All right.
Thanks,
all right,
Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.